Who would be ideally, if it's not Fury, it's not Wilder, who's your next ideal opponent?
Immediate next.
Ortiz, Miller, or White.
I broke my back.
What do you mean by that?
My back is broken.
What do you mean, calm it down? It's a fight. Referees telling two fighters who want to fight to calm it down. He should calm down.
I saw he's like a clown in his show, man. He's not your guy.
Because Tyson Fury's back, and all you motherfuckers are under attack.
Look, Eddie Hearn can say all what he likes. Who gives a shit what Eddie Hearn says? It's garbage.
Are you off your tits? Have you been smoking something?
Can you let me retire and be happy? Please, just please.
Bombs away from the Bronx Bomber! Wilder! Let's go, baby! Let's go! I'm through. They put somebody else up and give me an interview. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You never give me a fair shake. HBO needs to fire you. You don't know shit about boxing. You ain't shit. You're not shit. I wish I was 50 years younger and I'd kick your ass.
I got dropped, man. Are you kidding?
No, you won the fight.
OMG, I am so excited.
Any of you radio personalities think you want smoke? Call me Mr. Chimney. I want smoke.
Yes. What is up? What is up? MCR family, another daily edition of the show live on YouTube. Obviously, it's also like a New Year's Eve, a special edition of the show in a sense. We're not doing the year-end roundup show and award show today. I apologize. That's next week. Not next week. That's sometime this week. I believe the votes are all tallied up for the awards, so we're gonna have to go back and look at them. Set the ceremony. That's gonna be sometime this week, whenever we have a slow day, probably. So maybe Thursday, Friday, somewhere around then. Should be our award ceremony. But anyways, digressing. Obviously, I am Matt the Hipster Hunter, joined by Mr. Robbie Hearns over there on my right-hand side, your left-hand side if you're watching. And obviously, it's Mayweather versus Nasukawa review of whatever that was. God damn. That was great in its own unique, special way. And also, we had tons of Japanese boxing events this weekend, obviously, because it is New Year's Eve. So, obviously, this is mainly a boxing show, so we're going to break that down. Obviously, on top of that, AJ's hit list. Oh, damn. Sending shots to the whole heavyweight division. Cannot wait to go over that one with, obviously, since Rob is AJ's #1 fan, and obviously the creator of AJ's fan club. On top of that, Terrence Crawford, Gervonta Davis getting into a little spat, a little tiff, so to speak, on Twitter. Going to break down whatever that was and more. But Mr. Robbie Hearn himself, how you doing? Oh, wow. Rob was trying to set up a soundbite, trying to set up something. I know it. You just give me the cue, Rob. You give me the cue.
No. No, it was, I went back to the Google Hangout window and then YouTube joined in. So I was like, whoa. We were going to have ourselves playing back. Who wants to hear this twice? I mean, come on.
I mean, maybe some people. If they are,
yeah.
I highly question their sanity. But, I mean, that's beside the point. Rob, how you doing?
Yeah.
Obviously,
I'm good.
We were talking before the show started. I think this is our first show since Christmas, or before Christmas, together, since I was with Sharedar.com all last week for UFC 232. So, obviously, Merry Christmas, Rob. Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas, and belated one to the listeners.
Yes. No soundbite? No soundbite there? Didn't
it work? Didn't it work?
No. I saw you told that. I'm like, yo, there's no soundbite playing. It's okay.
I'll try one more time. If it doesn't work.
I don't know why it's not working. Yeah, see?
No.
Have you like fully quit out of your soundboard app, so to speak, and restarted it? Not the computer, the app. That's what you should do. Anyways.
No, it's all good. It was just Tyson Fury saying, Merry Christmas, you filthy dasses. That's all it was.
Oh, that would have been nice. It would have been.
It would have.
Yeah. Well. This is a great start to a podcast. Cannot wait to see what it is. I feel like I'm in a silly mood, by the way, Rob. Like, I know we got topics, and I know we got fights to talk about, but this could go over the place. I feel in a silly mood. It's New Year's Eve.
Yeah, you're looking kind of silly, so it's all good. We're good. But look, I got Team Gypsy King T-shirt. This was actually a present for our older boy, but unfortunately, it was too big for him. So,
oh, you came in like McGregor.
I said it last year when I heard you to take part. I heard to take over.
And you took over that shirt. You're like, that's mine.
Was there a soundbite then? I didn't. I'm only joking. Yeah, it's loud.
I know it plays on my end because I got the fucking meter. You, no, go around. Fuck you, you cunt. Okay.
Oh, C-bomb on the podcast. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize on.
That's
his
definitely.
behalf.
Yo, this is an explicit podcast. I definitely hope everyone knows that by now.
But yeah, Mayweather and Tenshin. Yeah.
Or Neymar, as you called him in the group chat.
Yeah, Neymar's been everywhere. I'm getting loads of likes. Everyone that put up comments and tweets and stuff saying Floyd Mayweather just demolished. I'm like, come on. But as much as I want to be angry and I want to say
that was
fast,
no, you can't. That was hilarious. That was the most fun I've had arguably all year.
But listen, let me get this out, because as much as I was like watching it and I was like, oh, this is a joke. We've been fucking like totally con job, farce. This is a joke. Ultimately, I'm just angry at myself for watching it. It's just one of those things. I mean, I knew it was going to be competitive, but to watch the.
It's okay. You can talk. You can keep talking. They hear you.
I was just thinking which one. I didn't know whether to change my voice as the music came. I didn't know if it was dramatic or sad. I was gonna
go
it's
either
sad.
Way. Definitely sad.
Okay. Yeah, to watch him rolling around, and someone actually. Do you remember Stone Cold does the like the Stone Cold stunner, and like the opponent would like fly around. That one of those knockdowns was.
Remember the old, not old, because it's only maybe like 6 month, 9 month old like meme, but where like people like fall through to, like different scenes, that one song playing. They need to do that one and bring that one back just for the Tenshin knockdowns.
Yeah, for sure. Neymar got that treatment.
Yes.
I think it's a Daft Punk song or something like that.
I think you're right.
It's like rolling through the universe, and then like yeah. I mean, look, there was the whole thing was typical Mayweather. It was suddenly news was breaking out mid-morning for me. I was watching it, like just tuning in, seeing whatever. Your friend Anthony Walker was doing his own special commentary and stuff.
Yeah, it was funny because I woke up right when Anthony fell asleep, so I was kind of like reading what you guys were going back and forth.
Yeah,
I'm like, man, I missed some really good shit. I hope I don't miss all the good shit, right? And I'm like, nope. Anthony missed it. Anthony missed it.
I was actually going to put out a missing persons report because he was full on every fight, every possible thing, and it wasn't like, you know, a great right hook in there. It was Anthony's own version of keeping us up to date. So you know, I was having a bit of back and forth with him, and but yeah, midway through it was Mayweather's still not here, you know, and I put together a little stupid tweet from I think it's Reservoir Dogs stuffing someone in the boot and shutting the. I said, you know, don't worry, everybody. Floyd's on his way. The Yakuza have just picked him up, and he'll be at the venue shortly. But it was like he got there, and then suddenly he's up on he's on IG Live, and so he said something like, "When do we start?" And they were like 10:30, and I'm like, "What is that in Japan right now?" And he must have said the same, and it was like 9:45 or something. And I was like, so I've still got 45 minutes to go before he's even on the fight. But now I'm going to do a ridiculous conspiracy theory.
Oh, conspiracy theories? Hold up.
And I want people to know this is quite clearly me trolling and just fucking around. But
no, this is 100% serious, people. We have sources in the Yakuza.
Okay. So he rocks up, right? He's in IG Live, and there's one of his team filming all the shenanigans or whatever. He's got obviously 50 people in the locker room and whatever. And the guy comes over with a rising green boxing glove, like camo green, real dark green, horrible looking glove. And they put it in front of him, and he's like, "Oh no, it's okay." And he's got like I don't know, like a Gucci, like you've just bought something in a Gucci shop, and it's in like one of those like posh sort of paper bags. And he's got about 6 pairs of Grant gloves in there. And he's like, no, I've got this, the blue ones, or this. and they keep putting this rising glove at him, and he's like, no, you choose. I mean, it doesn't matter which color. So, you know, suddenly he hits this poor kid with these Grant gloves that they didn't want him to wear. And the kid explodes across the ring 15 feet. So, you know, check the gloves. Hashtag check the gloves. Nah, like I say, I was fucking around. But
I was actually gonna add another completely conspiratorial theory that is complete bullshit. And again, like Rob said, I am clearly trolling here.
No, you're serious.
But I'm serious. This fight's in Japan. What sort of USADA testing, VADA testing was done? I'm just saying.
Are you trying to suggest that Tenshin was jacked up?
No, the opposite. the other way.
No, man. I know you were talking about the light heavyweight Floyd Mayweather.
Yo, and it's funny because I don't believe Tenshin was 138 on fight night. There's no way.
Well, I definitely don't think Floyd was 147.
No. Wait,
he was 168.
Did they say that he was that weight on fight night?
Well, they said.
Did they even give a weight for Floyd? I didn't see a weight for Floyd.
I don't know, but they announced it. The announcer said, like, in the welterweight division, like, this is a welterweight contest. But
anyways, regardless, Floyd was easily 30 to 40 to 50 pounds bigger than this poor kid. And look, it's serious here for a moment. This is a serious matter.
Really?
As serious as I can be. The first knockdown looked really suspect. The second one, in my opinion, did not. Floyd definitely caught him flush with the right hand that second knockdown. And if you have 40 pounds on top of you and you are light years and levels better than your opponent, it's going to look weird. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to look not like a normal fight, if that makes sense. It's going to look like a farce. It's going to look like it's fixed. It's similar to when we see, like, a really old shot fighter fight a really young guy, and it just looks weird. Like, it doesn't look normal. You know, like, they go down on weird shots. They go down in weird ways. When you are a 40-pound smaller person and you are literally level 0 compared to a level 1,000, you know, sort of creative player fighter that is Floyd Mayweather, it's going to look bad. And Floyd completely had no worry in there, toyed with him. Tenshin, like, caught him with a couple shots, but Floyd walked through him and just leveled him every time he landed. You know, I don't think it was fixed. I'll be honest. I know that, like, that's the joke is, oh, this is fixed. I don't think it was. I think it just looked weird. Like, it was a circus fight. You know what I mean? Like, so it's going to look like a circus fight. Mayweather McGregor in ways looked like that, you know, at times. So it is what it is. I think for anyone saying that this ruined Tenshin, it didn't. Like, Japanese MMA culture and combat sports culture has been using this as a storyline for Japanese fighters forever. Get beat up and humbled by the foreigner. That's, you know, the veteran. That's a common trope in a sense. So it should be fine for Tenshin. Mayweather picked up at least $9 million. That's what he said on IG, I believe. And he looked great. Got some money, and now we're going to head into a Pacquiao rematch in May. Get hyped. Rob, I know you think it's fixed, probably.
I don't know. I got Midi over here, who's actually a boxer, saying it's just literally the weight class, but
and it's not just the weight class. Like, let me make that very clear.
The weight difference. I mean,
I know what you meant by weight class. It's not just the weight difference. It's the skill gap. I mean, Tenshin Nasukawa, even though he's talked about as like a prodigy young Japanese kickboxer, he's still very young. He's still very inexperienced in a lot of ways. He is not the greatest kickboxer out there right now. He is a young prospect / young champion kickboxer that went and fought the greatest boxer the last 30 years. It's going to look weird. On top of that, it is the 40-pound weight difference. And it's going to look odd. It's going to look abnormal.
I guess. I mean, I guess really only they know and MIDI. But no, just some of it just a little suspect.
By the way, call in 323-870-4051. If you are international, email me, Mixed Combat Radio, to get a free international permanent call-in link. Definitely want callers to call in and make fun of this shit. Absolutely. Rob.
Yeah, that's mixedcombatradio@gmail.com.
Is that what I said?
You just said email me at Mixed Combat Radio.
Same shit.
Well, I just won't get
the
there,
email's on the screen. The email's on the screen. Like, they can read.
I'm just helping out. You didn't have to read it out then if it's on the screen.
Fuck off.
No, but yeah, to me, I don't know. It just looked weird. And like you say, whether that's fixed or not, it just looked weird. And like I say, ultimately, I just feel dumb for watching it because I was only ever going to feel this way, I think. But my favorite tweet that I done today was there was a Boxing Scene article saying if Tenshin Nasukawa actually kicks or anything, Floyd Mayweather, if he kicks him or anything like that, there's actually a $5 million fine for Tenshin. So I quote tweeted it and put, is it too late to start a GoFundMe page? I'm sure we can cover it. To which Anthony, when he was obviously still awake and with us, he said, just shut up and take my money. So we wanted to see Tenshin think, yeah, fuck this boxing shit. Try a roundhouse to the face. But, he could have just been an instant global superstar had he, I don't know, been a little bit more Floyd Mayweather about it. But he just, because the poor kid was crying. He obviously felt he was going to do something.
That was kind of sad. Like, that was...
Yeah,
I gotta admit, man.
Yeah, you're laughing and smiling, but it was kind of sad. Yeah, cold.
Like, it... But here's the thing. Like, I know that's what sells over there. Like, again, like, you have to... I know you don't know this, Rob. I know maybe a few people listening know this, but not a lot of people do. Like, that's a very common thing as a Japanese fighter that's young, getting his ass whooped by a foreigner that is light years better than him and crying on the camera, and then still becoming a superstar or still is a superstar. Like, that is like promoting 101 in Japan.
So that was fixed as well?
No, it's not fixed, but it's a tactic they want. Like, there's no way Sakakibara knew making that fight, hey, my guy Tenshin Nasukawa is going to win. Like, he knew that. The guy was 40 pounds bigger than him. The guy was light years better than him. It was meant to have that moment. Tenshin lose, be humbled, and it be shown to millions and millions and millions of people in Japan. And that culture over there loves that. Like, they rally behind theirs. Similar to like a UK fighter in a sense, how they rally behind theirs, obviously in a different sense, but I think you can sort of connect on that wave that this is not exactly what they wanted. I think if they could pick what they wanted, if this was truly a fixed fight, it would have went all 3 rounds. Like if Sakakibara and Ryzen really fixed it up and made it their way, there's no way he would have lost via first round knockout in a minute, right? Like, it would have been different. But they wanted him to lose. They wanted that image, that pro wrestling storyline, so to speak, of him being humbled, the young prodigy being humbled by this great figure, this great worldwide celebrity. That helps long term.
Yeah, I'm sure it's I don't know. I also felt, I mean, it was Floyd being Floyd, but I kind of thought he was sort of knowing the size difference, the skill difference, and I thought he was pretty disrespectful throughout the whole sort of waiting in the ring, everything. I thought he was a bit of an ass, but maybe that's just
well, he is an ass.
That's what I was just gonna round the circle and bring it back to him actually just being an ass. But this was what it, like you say, was what it was. It money grab exhibition. Anyone who thought any different, sorry for you. I'm just, again, like I say, sorry that I kind of got a little bit caught up in it as far as like actually wanting to see it, because I all throughout the week was like, no, I'll just catch it on IG tomorrow. Hit me up later. I'll see a few links or something. But I actually thought, oh no, I'll give it a watch. And I mean, the event looked pretty cool. Bunch of, whole ton of people in there, and
I think it was 35,000 people was the attendance they said.
37, I think 37. I saw was one of them. But yeah, I mean they love that shit over there, and I saw some.
And the rest of the card, I shouldn't say the rest of the card.
Which one was Aoki on?
Aoki. What do you mean?
Is it Aoki or something? The one that snapped his arm and then flipped the bird in his face.
Yeah, Shinya Aoki, who is a legend in Japanese MMA. I mean, that guy, he's probably in his 40s now. Actually, he's probably late 30s, 40s. The guy's been around for decades. He is the bad boy of Japanese MMA for sure. And obviously the co-main event, Koji Horiguchi versus Darian Caldwell, the Bellator champion versus the Rising champion. That stuff never happens in MMA where you have cross-promotional work. So that's always cool to see. And it was the flyweight champion beating a bantamweight champion, moving up in 10 pounds and beating him. And now he's going to rematch him in Bellator. I mean, good stuff throughout. We don't really need to talk about too much. I know you're not an MMA fan. But did you actually watch the whole card? You sat there and watched Gabby Garcia.
What was that?
Gabby Garcia is the giant woman.
Wait. Tweet of the day was someone said, shit, what's her name?
Gabby Garcia.
Gabby Garcia looks like she's drank a whole gallon of John Jones piss.
Shout out to Anthony Walker for that tweet.
Yeah. No, it wasn't Anthony. Someone did it, and then I quoted it and said, "Anthony Walker, is this true?" And he went, "It's 2 gallons."
2 gallons.
I knew I could come to. I knew I could come to you for the the official stats.
The hard hitting reporting right there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually 2 gallons of John Jones piss that she drank. But man, she is. Yeah, I don't know quite what that was, but no, I didn't actually sit down and fully watch it to appreciate it, but I caught some stuff and it just looks fucking bonkers, the whole thing. And am I right, it's sort of one's like a kickboxing fight, then there's like an MMA thing, then there was a boxing match, and which is kind of cool if you're like yourself, enjoy both. You've got a bit of everything. New Year's Eve, I mean, I know it was stupid time of day for a lot of people, but good old Floyd leaving it till late. A lot of people were waking up, even Pacific Coast people were waking up in time for Floyd. So it was just pretty bonkers, but I quite like the idea. It was pretty cool. But yeah, that Aoki snapping the guy's arm, the referee dives in, and next thing he's got the middle finger up right in his face, and then he does a little lap of the ring, sticking his finger up at the crowd as well. I was like,
yeah, it's funny because a lot of boxing fans, like for you, for example, this is your first sort of introduction to Japanese MMA culture, because it's very different than Japanese boxing culture. The two are distinctly different.
Oh, Japanese boxing is one punch will land, and it's
well, that's actually kind of loud. That's actually kind of loud. You have to tone it down in Japanese boxing fans.
There's only one person clapping. I was trying to make it sound like the arena.
It's definitely like golf, in that way, like a
maybe a little and then
that's about it.
A few oohs and ahs, and there's almost silence in between.
I mean that just because the crowd for Japanese MMA can be like that at times, but it's the production of it, the theatrics of it. Japanese MMA, those don't know, grew from Japanese pro wrestling. Most MMA around the world did. It grew from pro wrestling. It didn't really grow up from boxing.
It's definitely a WWE vibe.
Yes, 100%.
So the entrances 100%. And the characters and things like that. So
yes, I mean, New Japan Pro Wrestling is a gigantic pro wrestling promotional company. MB asked, is Ryzen a main MMA company in Asia? No, I would say not. In Japan, probably. That you can probably make that safe argument nowadays. One championship is probably bigger in Asia and the whole Asian continent overall. What else? That's about it. Road FC in Korea, but that's smaller than Ryzen. That's smaller than one championship. But Ryzen's go back and watch the show I did when this news first broke, I want to say. If you can go back and find that show. When I talk about Ryzen and what it is, how it got to here, and how it came from Pride FC, which used to be around in the mid-2000s and late 90s. But anyways, digressing. fun card. I'll break down the rest of the card itself on the MMA show. We don't have to do it here, Rob. Don't worry about it. It was, though, a fun show. I will say that. And I woke up at 5 a.m. because I went to bed at 9 p.m. because I was a little bit sick yesterday. And it was perfect. Caught the co-main event, caught the Mayweather fight. That's all I needed. But anyways, digressing. Rob, how much of the boxing fights did you watch this weekend?
I saw how'd you say it?
Donnie Nietes.
Yeah, I saw that fight.
Okay.
No, about it really.
Okay.
I was actually at work today when I was supposed to be doing work. But I did catch that fight.
Let's move over just to the fights this weekend. Try to break them down as fast as possible. Donnie Nietes versus Kazuto Ioka. I didn't think this was a robbery. I know you said that. I don't know if you were joking. I did
maybe not robbery. It was tighter than like a robbery, but I didn't.
It was 100% closer than the scorecards that were given. I think one of them was 118, 110 for Donnie Nietes. That just is not.
That's very wrong.
That's not reflective of how close the fight was.
I think you could.
I thought Ioka won.
7-5.
I thought Ioka won 7-5.
Yeah, that's how I had it. Really.
But it was definitely one of those fights like I was having a very difficult time scoring it.
And I sometimes I feel like when there's because I think what was the opponent? Sorry, I keep forgetting.
Ioka, just say Ioka.
Ioka, yeah, Ioka. He came on a little bit later, and it to me sometimes, although I know judges score it round by round, but I don't know. You feel he's got the momentum, so you instantly lean that way yourself. Like it's fresher in the memory those last few rounds, so you're. But even sort of thinking back to, I just felt he came on strong in the, I guess they call it the championship rounds, and I felt he'd done enough to earn the decision. But yeah, when the 118, 110 come out,
you thought Ioka won the last two rounds?
No, he made some changes. I felt he like the 9th, 10th, he just got a bit of later momentum. Yeah, okay. the actual probably like 11th and 12th were.
With Donnie,
there were some tricky rounds to score. So when I said robbery, I was just
don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just because again, there's been some conversation, some dialogue on boxing Twitter about whether this was controversial, whether this was robbery. I think part of that plays into it is Donnie Nietes' last fight against Ashton Pilate, that being a little bit controversial as well. It seems like Nietes is getting some favorable decisions here, especially wide decisions when the fights don't reflect those scorecards. But like you said, like you thought Ioka came on strong in those last sort of 4 rounds, so to speak. I thought Nietes came on strong in those last 4 rounds. This fight was just hard to score and hard to judge, in my opinion. Nietes was doing very good work when Ioka overcommitted and got stuck in the inside. And Nietes was able to land combinations, able to land very short, fast combinations on the inside. And Ioka, I thought, was doing better work on the outside, coming in and out. It was just the moments when he got stuck on the inside, the moments he didn't exit out of his, forward momentum, his combination, and exit out of the engagement quick enough, he would get caught. And the action was not too infrequent. It was a fun fight, but the action was relatively close enough in terms of volume, in terms of output, in terms of efficiency that it's one of those fights. What did you like more? Did you like Ioka's in and out work where he was really working straight punches, really working his jab? Do you like Nietes' inside work with his combinations to the body? Tough fight to score, in my opinion, but fun fight, interesting fight. And shout out to Nietes, who now I think joins Manny Pacquiao and I believe one other Filipino champion that's now a 4-division champion.
Is it
Donaire?
I think Donaire is. I thought I saw a tweet earlier. He's joined Pacquiao, Donaire, and I think there's another guy. I can't think.
I can't remember, but shout out to Nietes for joining that sort of bracket of Filipino champions.
That unnameable group of legends.
4-division Filipino champions. Shout out to Nietes.
But yeah, I just quickly. When you feel one guy's won, and then you hear 118, 110 against your guy, that's when people go, "What the fuck?" It's like. He's been robbed, but that's just a real bad score. But when you look back at it, you could say, well, if you did give that round to Nietes, if you did give that round to, you could really look back and go, well, I guess, but when that initial thing comes out, people are straight on, social media, robbery and controversy and things like that. But I did feel, that one scorecard in particular was, a joke. But
yeah, that's up there with like worst scorecards of the year, easily.
Yeah, like the one that gave Wilder the fight and things like that.
No, I wouldn't say that one, but I would say like the one was the 119 Jamal Charlo one against Matt Korboff. That one was really bad. This one belongs in that conversation easily.
Yeah. This is Adelaide Bird territory.
Yes. That was Levi Martinez, for anyone that wanted to remember who that judge was that just gave that 118 scorecard for Don Nietes. I'll quickly.
I was just gonna say there was one other fight I caught, but everything, all the like graphics and overlays and shit were all Japanese, so I had no clue who was fighting. And I missed on Twitter trying to keep up, but I was actually just watching it. There was a black guy fighting an Asian guy. And the Asian guy's eye proper was fucked up. And I think they pulled him out in like the 10th or something.
That was Mutu Metaline, or I don't know how to pronounce his name, but
that is it though. That is the one.
Yeah, fought Nonito Donaire back in the day, like almost a decade ago. Has been undefeated since then. A lot of people have been talking about him deserving of some sort of shot, some sort of moment again since that Nonito Donaire loss. I agree. I didn't see the fight. Everyone said he looked fantastic in it. So I can't wait to watch that one. I did watch the one above it, though, in the card, the co-main event to the Don Nietes fight. Hickey Butler losing to Hiroto Koreguchi. Really fun fight, back and forth affair. One of those I thought was a little bit hard to score, but luckily Koreguchi got the TKO in the 11th round. I didn't have to score it. But now we have another undefeated, now 12-0 Japanese prodigy that just defeated a legit former champion, like a guy that has only recently just lost his belt. On top of that, is a guy that's fought everyone in the division. Shout out to Horiguchi there. On top of that, the other card on ESPN Plus, which is sad that you guys didn't. Did you guys get the Mazuyuki Iota card versus Yevgeny Tripakov?
No,
that was on Box Nation.
It may well have been. I just didn't know.
It doesn't say UK broadcaster on Boxrec. I'm just curious if you guys got it. Mazuyuki Iota versus Yevgeny Tripakov. Iota obviously just beat Christopher Diaz for the vacant WBO title. Christopher Diaz now fighting Jesse Magdaleno in moving down division. But Iota looked fantastic. Obviously has turned into an all-action fighter. Definitely of the vein of a Miura at that division. On top of that, being sort of in that top rank ESPN conglomerate in a way, even if it's co-promotional wise, because he's promoted by Taken Promotions mainly, he can easily fight a Miguel Pacheltnex, and that could be fight of the year. Again, easily. Tevin Farmer's out there. Gervonta Davis, who we're going to talk about later on the show. Tons of great fighters in that division. Iota can fight any of them, and I'm happy to see it. MB said that no UK broadcaster picked up Iota versus Tripakov. I'll look for a link for you, Rob, after the show. I did not see the Ken Shiro fight against Saul Juarez, mainly due that fight was not shown on ESPN Plus, which is really fucking sad. And I have not been able to find any link for that one, unfortunately. So if anyone does have a link, please email it to us, mixedcombatradio@gmail.com, so we can watch Ken Shiro, who is, without a doubt, a prodigy. But speaking of prodigies, Inoue's little brother, Takuma Inoue, fought on this card. And I now know why we really haven't heard of the little bro of Inoue. It's because he has no power. It's not because he's not good. Takuma Inoue is actually a very talented boxer, just like his older brother, but zero pop. I mean, less than Paulie sort of pop. Like I think he's out of being 13-0, Rob. This how many knockouts he has? Three.
All right.
Three.
It's just your barometer. Your barometer was fantastic. Is a less than Paulie power.
Because at least Paulie might even have like a 50% knockout ratio. Because like that's like a 50% knockout ratio isn't really that good in boxing, to be honest. Like once you get to like the 70%, you actually have a good knockout ratio.
Look at Josh Warrington. Doesn't matter.
You are absolutely right about that, Rob. 100%. But Warrington has that insane cardio. He has insane athleticism. Without the power, he has insane athleticism. His speed, his quickness laterally, and just his hand speed is just insane. On top of that, again, he has a work rate combined with a durability factor that allows him to make up for that lack of power. I don't know if Takuma Inoue has that. There's times he would get clipped by CP Freshmart, the lesser. CP Freshmart knockout CP Freshmart, the lesser one. And not that, again, like he was in serious trouble at any point in the fight, but there's just times that I was like, ooh. And once he starts fighting elite guys, I can see him getting clipped and getting beat up, so to speak. Like his boxing skill, I think, is only going to allow him to beat out like the top 10, top 15 guys. But once he gets to that top 5, it's going to be rough for him. But again, try to.
What did he won there? Was it the interim? Was it the WBC?
Yes,
interim?
It was the interim title.
I saw someone say he's possibly because Neary is the WBC silver, and what if their paths were to cross? But
Neary should win that. Neary should be easily the favorite because Neary is a talented boxer. On top of that, he has legit fucking power.
Is it more than Paulie power, or I don't know? Just as a barometer.
Yes, Lewis Neary has very good power. But anyways, digressing from that, let's play the clip again from the beginning of the show and talk about your man's, your favorite guy. And again, call in 323-870-4051. Press 1 to get in the queue. After this, we will take some callers. I see Coach Mitty. Santiago just dropped off. I apologize, Santiago. Hope you can call back in.
Mitty doesn't want to come in. He's staying muted. He's sick.
That's right. But I mean, Mitty. I mean, we really don't care. He didn't sound that bad. Text us, Mitty, if you want to come in. But anyways, let's play this audio from your man's, your hero, Anthony Joshua.
Who would be ideally, if it's not Fury, it's not Wilder, who's your next ideal opponent?
Immediate next.
Ortiz, Miller, or White.
Wow.
I'll be honest. When he said this hit list, never in my wildest dreams would the first name he said would be Luis Ortiz. I was shocked by that. Like, legitimately shocked. Do I think it's realistic? Maybe not so much. However, realistic as not being like they shouldn't fight each other. They're like it shouldn't happen, but I just don't think it does happen. There are two easier fights clearly to make that are completely respectable matchups. Dylan White and Joe Miller, two names he did mention as well. But it just made me like my ears went up. Like the light bulb went off in my head. Like, huh. I mean, maybe AJ does pull like the rabbit out of the hat and fights Luis Ortiz just because. Why not? Similar to like when Wilder paid Stavern step-aside money to fight Luis Ortiz. You sort of, if you're AJ, you think, hey, if I fight Luis Ortiz, I get a lot of those hardcore people adding me on Twitter every fucking day to shut up. Even if it's for, one night, I get them to shut up if I fight Luis Ortiz and I beat him. And it doesn't make more money than a big baby fight or a Dylan White fight, but obviously I think it is the harder fight. The fight where he is obviously in the most danger. Rob, your take when you heard this, little clip and you decided to send it my way all giddy. Does it happen? Do you want it to happen? How does the fight play out if it were to happen?
Well, one, I love how how I send a message.
Giddy.
Whether I use giddy or I'm apparently always unrelaxed.
You are always yes. You are always unrelaxed.
But when you say that, I'm always just chilling on the sofa.
Yo, relax, fam. It's okay.
But yeah, I like it. It's for me, like you say, it probably doesn't make as much money or fill out the stadium as much as a Dillian White or maybe even a Jarrell Miller, because obviously he's gonna do everything in a press conference and a weigh-in or whatever he's going to make. You know, shit will go viral with Big Baby Miller is in AJ's face and saying whatever he wants to say. But for me, perception-wise, maybe I know a lot of this whole thing of the Wilder Joshua negotiations or whatever. When you just, if you're up for it and you want to get into an argument on Twitter, you just put out there, you know, Wilder, find your pen, and you get right down in the rabbit hole, and you can just
you can go fishing for days with that one.
Yeah, and you know, it's who the fuck when it came out originally that we're gonna fight White if Wilder doesn't want it. All the Wilder fans and all the especially a lot of people in America, like, who the fuck is White? We've seen this fight before anyway. We don't want to see a rematch. Why doesn't he talk about Ortiz? Well, he's just mentioned Ortiz first. Is it going to happen? I don't know. I would like it to, but I think if he does and he beats Luis Ortiz, that's made I think a little bit of groundwork in America. Whereas, you know, he can keep fighting whoever here, and obviously people.
Rob, I'm not going to let you off the hook like that.
What?
Give an answer. Like, does it happen? Yes or no?
Oh, did you actually ask that at the beginning?
Yes, and you just said, said, "Oh, does it happen?" I don't know. No.
I can't remember. That was like.
I'm gonna hold your feet to the fire here. Does AJ?
No.
Oh no. Okay.
No, it doesn't happen. Right. I think it's probably still White. I think it's still going to be White. Although I don't know, whatever. But
Big Baby could definitely jump in there. But
I don't know. I think they're saving Big Baby for later in the year in America. But the main thing I want to see from, let's say it gets made, Joshua Ortiz at Wembley. Joshua deals with Ortiz in much easier, better fashion than Wilder. Gets the microphone, and let's remember, you know, Wilder said, "I'll fight anybody that goes through Ortiz. Anyone who goes through Ortiz gets a shot at me." So AJ, just get the mic. Now can I fight you, Wilder? Mic drop and just walk out and just leave that moment and just, you know, you what you said, go through go through Ortiz. Let's do it. I've done it.
You know,
Next.
You know, I need a soundbite that's like perfect for like, oh, you're dreaming, like to personify for our ears, so to speak. Like the idea of like, oh, that's just dreamland. Like you're just dreaming there. I don't have one, but that's a nice fantasy there, Rob. I like it.
No, that's my ideal. If I was,
I know,
you know, if I was AJ's people, go in there, smash Ortiz all over the ring. I know that's maybe the difficult part to start with, but
yeah, because AJ's people actually don't want hard fights for AJ. Just saying.
Just stop. You are in a silly mood. You're right. So yeah, and then just like I say, like enough of this fucking bullshit. You know, we always see it. American interviews on after the fight. You got fucking motherfucker this, motherfucker that, fuck you. So many expletives. One guy says shit on UK TV, and it's I do apologize for the language there. And you're like, he's a fighter. What did you expect? You put in a mic, you know. So our guys try and keep it. But I'm bullshit. Like, yeah, it is bullshit. That's right. But yeah, I want to hear one of our guys, you know, lose it a bit. You want to see the bad side of AJ and go, right, Wilder, you said anyone, you know, goes through Ortiz, gets to fight you next.
The best,
make the date, mate.
The best sort of version of that is when Tyson Fury was on. What was that? Was it channel? I forget what channel it was on in the UK. Back before he had the beard, back way before the Klitschko fight, right? Yeah. And he's talking next to the ring, and I forget what he says, but he goes off, I think, on about Chisora or Hay. It might have been Hay.
No. I think I know what you mean. It's David Price and Tony Bellew. And
yes.
And your little gay lover from Liverpool or whatever or something.
And the interview goes, "Welp, okay, we're leaving here."
Go to commercial. The
producer's in his ear like, "Get this fucking mic off of him now, please." Oh, that was perfect. Yeah. Thank you, Tyson Fury.
You know, you put a microphone in these guys sometimes, and you know you're kind of taking your broadcasting rights into your own hands a little bit, but especially if Fury maybe. But yeah, Does it happen? Probably not. We're probably getting White. And look, I'll be honest. Do many people deserve to fight more than Dillian White right now? I know you're in a silly mood, but honestly,
sorry, repeat the question because I don't think I fully understand what you were asking.
Does someone deserve the shot at Joshua more than Dillian White? I know he's had a shot when he was at like 17-0, but for what Dillian White has done, I don't know. Does someone deserve a shot more than him?
No, not off the top of my head. Because really the three people that you think about are Ortiz, White, and Big Baby. And honestly, White's sort of recent run is better than Ortiz post the Wilder loss. It's better than anything Big Baby has done, clearly. Big Baby has regressed in opponent level, so you can't really give it to him, while White's still fighting really top level competition. Joseph Parker, Lucas Brown, Derek Chisora, whatever you want to say about those guys, all of them are in the top 20 in the heavyweight division, at least. Joseph Parker at the time was arguably top 5. To say it, I know it's the cool thing to say in the U.S. circle, like Dillian White's trash, but he's clearly not.
Exactly.
This is what I mean. It's similar to when people start saying like, "Oh, Big Baby's trash." Like, no, Big Baby's not trash. Maybe the people he's fighting are trash, but he inherently is not trash. He's a very highly skilled, highly efficient fighter in what he wants to do. Same with Dillian White, obviously in different ways. And I think Dillian White, again, his run as of late, post that AJ loss, has been arguably the best run in the division, beside the top 3 guys in the sport, being Fury, AJ, not sport, in the division, AJ, Fury, and Wilder. So yeah, Dillian White deserves it, absolutely.
That's what I feel. I think, look, I obviously want the Wilder fight or the Fury fight above these, but we're not going to get that, I don't feel. So
yeah,
I know we've seen Hearn saying like, it looks, from what I'm getting back from Wilder's people, it's not going to happen. So maybe we'll go after the Fury fight. But again, that's just Eddie creating headlines that, again, probably won't even happen. But so, yeah, if it's not Wilder or Fury, I think on merit, I think White deserves it, even though that will get, that Dillian White's trash and he's already fought him. Why is he fighting him again? It was definitive knockout last time. But when it comes up in arguments, it's Dillian White rocked AJ in that in that second round, and it always swings. When it works for you, it works for you. When it doesn't, it. But purely on merit, I feel White deserves it. But I think Ortiz would be, whether he's it's come out about the blood pressure in it. There was, who was it? Charles Martin was on standby. He was nearly pulled from the Wilder fight, like an hour or so before the Wilder fight, and Charles Martin was waiting.
An hour, I think, is highly hyperbolic because it was several weeks before the fight, but it's okay.
No. Actually, on fight night, the doctor was, according to Fury and other sources have said it, that
well, you just had Fury. So.
Yes, but other people have said it's sort of, whether it's an hour or an hour and a half or a couple of hours before, but apparently a medical was done and the doctor wasn't too happy at the time. But
heavy emphasis on allegedly.
Maybe. I'm just saying, but all I'm saying is people might feel that
you act like
Ortiz, that Ortiz isn't quite the guy that he was or whatever, because there's more stuff floating. I just mean in the Twitter.
That's the same argument. Like, oh, he's 50 years old. Like, stop. Like, I know not you. I know you're just saying.
But you're not letting me finish.
I know. I'm not letting you finish. Exactly. You're
rude.
You're very smart about this. Thank you. Thank you for commentating on what I'm doing here. Yes, I am stopping you. Mainly because it's the people are gonna. Some people will take what you're saying and abuse it and go down the line. I guarantee you, we're gonna get a comment on YouTube or later talking about how Ortiz is 50 years old. He doesn't deserve to fight. I know Mitty made the joke in our group chat, And I know Mitty's just joking, but there's people that legitimately use those talking points to discredit Luis Ortiz. And Luis Ortiz, I would say, is a more talented boxer than Dillian Whyte and Big Baby. Like, he's the clear, like, number 4 behind those 3 top guys. And just because his resume doesn't have the names of a Joseph Parker or a Derek Chisora, he still is better than Dillian Whyte. Regardless of how old he is, regardless of the blood pressure meds, regardless of his PD scandal, he is still a top heavyweight. And again, I just know some people will listen to what you say or what others say and discredit Luis Ortiz, just like people discredit Dillian Whyte. People discredit Big Baby. And I think that does no service to our sport, to the division, to what is happening right now in the heavyweight division, which is a renaissance of it since the 90s. So, like when Gary calls in and says, like, oh, everyone after the 3 are just the trash tier, I think that does a huge disservice to the division, does a huge disservice to the sport, because that's not accurate. It's not reflective of the reality of that division. There are talented, that top 10 at heavyweight hasn't looked that good since the 90s. That's just a fact.
I mean, you see it all the time at the moment, the heavyweight division's on fire. And you're like, yeah, like Joshua, Wilder. And then you go, yeah, White. And they go, nah, White's trash. All right, Ortiz, nah, he's 50. All right, Gerald Miller, nah, he's overrated. He's got a shit resume. So why is it on fire then? Who are the other, why is the division on fire if everyone except 2 people or maybe 3 are trash? So, but yeah, that's what I was kind of coming around to, that despite what people feel maybe about Ortiz, because I know a lot of the Brits gave Wilder shit, saying, oh, you fought a 50-year-old. If Joshua now fights Ortiz, he's going to be fighting a 51-year-old, possibly. So that's going to come back. But for me, perception would maybe look better if Joshua was to fight Ortiz, just because a lot of the Wilder fans or whatever have come across said, fuck Dillian Whyte, you should face Ortiz. Wilder faced Ortiz. You should go through Ortiz. So as far as extending the Joshua brand a little bit to that side of the pond, if Joshua impressively took care of Luis Ortiz, maybe doesn't get wobbled like Wilder did, or have that round where you're like, oh shit, he's gonna take out Wilder. But if Joshua just does him in, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 rounds, nice and clean, and like I say, do say some shit on the mic, maybe a few Americans actually go, whoa, oh shit, So, but anyways, Dillian Whyte at Wembley. So
yeah, that's definitely gonna happen. 100% gonna happen. We're going to take some calls, sort of break up the monotony, then go into our last topic of the day. So if you want to get in right now, you have to. This is the time. Call in 323-870-4051. Press 1 to get in the queue. Santiago, please press 1 if you want to talk. Otherwise, we're going to see if Mitty wants to talk. Otherwise, head into the last topic. If you're international, email me, mixedcombatradio@gmail.com to get the free international and permanent call-in link. All the information is below in the description. Mitty, do you want to talk?
Yo.
Yeah, what up, sick Mitty?
What's up? How you guys doing, man?
You actually sound better.
Hey, you see? It's just listening to you guys, man.
Yeah. Don't worry, we'll make you sick. Just keep listening, we'll make you sick.
I mean, like the topic that I'm interested to talk about is the Mayweather one, right? So, and I don't understand why people, would want to say, "Oh, I don't want to watch it." I know, Robbie, you felt like robbed or whatever, right? Or you felt cheated for watching it. And a lot of people said, "Oh, I'm not gonna watch that because I'm a hardcore boxing fan or whatever," and they're kind of embarrassed of telling people, "Oh yeah, I watched it, man." You should not first of all feel robbed about it because you didn't pay for it, so you streamed it or whatever. And maybe. I don't know.
Well, hold up. Rob, did you pay for it?
Fuck no.
Of course not.
Okay.
He's the one who sent us the link.
Oh, I didn't.
Whoa, you can't put that out in the universe, Mitty.
Allegedly. And secondly, I did not see that link. I had to go find my own, allegedly. And it was, by the way, I just want to say this quickly. My alleged link, the title was Mayweather versus Nasukawa PS4. right?
Oh,
Like,
beautiful.
so like the guy was literally had like a stream, like a Twitch, like gaming overlay, and like remember that one viral video of the guy with the controller with the Mayweather fight, right? Remember that?
Yeah.
It was the same thing.
Oh, that's great. No
No,
wonder you were
Different
happier
guy,
about it.
different person, but they did that, and I'm like, yo, way to go, way to get
the one
off, man.
the one I watched was pretty good, man. And like for a pay-per-view event, in the past, like I want to say like a long time ago, I tried to watch like pay-per-view events using links and all that, and the quality was not good at all, and they would stop it. This one, it didn't stop. It was nice. But anyway, like, so I didn't have anything better to do, so yeah, I watched it, and definitely the big problem, a massive problem in that fight was like, I mean, take away the skills, because we know that the skill was not like gonna be on par with Mayweather, but it's the weight. The weight is an issue. Like that kid, you can't tell me that kid, faked going down, trying to go up, and still had his leg like in jelly, and then going back down again, right? So, to me, it wasn't fake. It was just seriously affected by those punches, and one of them was like I think on top of the head, just above the ear, and he just like scramble his senses. But that wasn't a good fight to watch. It was just like bullying, man. Like it was just watching a bully at school, like just going through like one of those small kids, man, and no one did anything about it, man.
It definitely seemed like we're about to watch a snuff film where like somebody dies.
Yeah, it was not good. Like you could tell, like Mayweather was like massive, and then within the first 2-3 seconds, he was already smiling because he could see him like it was so big and so imposing compared to that like Tenshin or whatever his name is, and I mean he couldn't do anything, and that's sad. Like, but Mayweather is definitely an asshole, man. Like that's not the way to do this. If it was like an exhibition, then treat it as an exhibition. Don't go out there like you're a killer or something. Like, and I mean, he is a skilled boxer, the best we've seen. Like, but I don't know, man. I don't think he had to go in there and try to finish that kid, man. Like, because he could have just like boxed on the outside, like he's done, like the last 10 years or so.
You've seen this because obviously you spend a lot of time in gyms, but when like there's that guy, the young kid in like that's new to the gym, talks way too much shit, and then he goes and spars and gets the shit beat out of him. That's kind of what this felt like.
I've seen this, but like usually, like the way I've seen it, like it goes much more the way it went against McGregor. Like when that young kid is in the gym, he talks a lot of shit, and you put him against like the old timer, and he goes in there, and the old timer just like takes it easy for a few rounds, and then starts pouring on the pressure, and then punishes him big time after. But like in this one, it was just like the old timer that was just being a bully, just straight from the off. He didn't just show him anything. He just went in there and then bullied him, and that wasn't nice to watch, like from a Mayweather standpoint, and also all the posturing and all the stuff that he did, like in the dressing room, in the ring itself, right after the fight. It did give props to like Tenshin, but it was not real props, right? That's what he always does, right? To make it sound like he's a nice guy after the fight, but all the bullshit he did before, it was not good, man.
Wilder versus Charlie Zeninoff was a more competitive fight than what we just saw.
I don't know, man. I don't know, but yeah, no, that was like the I mean, I guess the main topic of the day, right? And
it is Mayweather.
Yeah, it is, man. It shows, man. A lot of people will watch it. Like whatever happens, if he comes back, he fights whoever, like at 147, people will watch it. But we've now seen that he's very careful about picking his opponents. He's very careful about picking the rules of the game and all that. So he's never gonna fight anyone that is gonna be a real threat, really, right? So
no, he's never gonna fight someone that the deck is not stacked in his favor.
Yeah, and he shouldn't. He shouldn't, because he's built his legacy and is good. Like what he should do is probably stay retired, right? Because we don't want to see those like, circus fights. But yeah, I don't think he should go in there and just fight like one of the young lions or something like that. That's not cool because it doesn't prove anything either, right? So
Are you interested in a Pacquiao rematch?
That's probably the only fight that would make sense. Like, especially if, like, I don't know, especially if like Pacquiao loses to Broner, that could be that could be interesting. But yeah, now that's the only fight that is a decent Mayweather matchup. And again, just the fact that Pacquiao has been active, stayed like competitive, like it probably won't happen because it will take a while for Mayweather just to come back and have like a proper camp, right? So that's what I think, but you never know with him, right? So
what about Mayweather versus your hero, your number one idol?
Nah,
Amir
it wouldn't
Khan.
do it. It wouldn't even go close to it because Khan will just whoop him. Trust me. And I mean that's not because I'm saying that a prime Khan will beat a prime Mayweather. But now, right, the way you've seen the way you've seen like McGregor touching Mayweather up, Khan will touch him up bad and will not stay there to get hit, right? So, and that's just the way it is. Like Mayweather is 40, right? 40, 41 or whatever, right? So,
goddamn.
You know that. Like, who would you pick in a fight? Don't tell me you wouldn't. You would pick Mayweather.
Yes.
Now, Mayweather can
you know
now.
what?
You
What
Mayweather?
Mayweather does to a prime Khan? He treats him like Victor Ortiz, dog. Come on.
No, like I mean, both in their prime, Mayweather wins, no problem. Like we understand that.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now. No.
Midi.
Midi. I'm telling you this right now. The Mayweather that just fought today, if he were to fight Khan, prime Khan, he is icing him in under 6 rounds.
No, you're bugging, man. What are you talking about, man? Like that, it's the same Mayweather, and you know how it is. Like when Mayweather just likes everything stacked in the card stacked in his favor, right? Just fighting like a 122-pounder with his own ref, with his own gloves. There was such a big disparity that he didn't have to go through all that pain, right? But he just wanted to make sure 100%. That's the same Mayweather that didn't want to give Khan that opportunity when he was about to fight Maidana, right? So
you know why? You know why he didn't give Khan that opportunity?
Why? Because there was like that maybe 20% chance of,
No. I think it's way more petty than that. I think Mayweather saw a guy that was begging for the fight, like begging every time. And I think Mayweather, knowing Mayweather being a psychopath and a sociopath, he definitely got a sick enjoyment from just rejecting Khan at every turn.
So maybe, but I don't think that's the case because what did those like Rising guy did? Like they begged, right? They tried to hustle them or whatever, or hustle him according to him. And let's remember, right? It was supposed to be a behind closed door fight, right? How many people were there in this freaking arena? Like, what was it like? A behind closed door for 30,000 rich Japanese people? My ass,
They let 37,000 in, and then they shut the door and they closed the door.
This guy knew from day one that this was gonna be on that card. He just decided to lie, and because things were not in his favor, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was probably gonna be an MMA, kicking allowed and all that. So he just decided to make up all those stories. And he got his own way, And I don't know, the poor kid, I don't know even know why he was crying. I know it's like honor and all those things, but what were they thinking? That he could win something or do something about it? I don't know, man. Yeah, anyway, that's the Mayweather topic. And the last topic that you mentioned, the AJ Ortiz, is another interesting topic to me. You're right. I was joking. Like, so, but that's the argument that people are going to use. Like, Ortiz was 50, especially, in that kind of like argument where people are going like AJ supporters and Wilder supporters, right? So the US one will just kind of like discredit the fight in itself, saying that, oh, AJ is fighting someone that previously ducked, and he said he was 50. Now he saw that Wilder exposed him, so therefore he's going to jump on it, or it makes him like a little bit more brave, and uh, or Ortiz is damaged goods because he's been knocked out by Wilder. And now it's safer to fight him and stuff like that. So I would like to see that fight, though. I know, and I agree 110% with Robbie. Like the Dillian White is the more deserving, and it's actually going to be the better fight in my opinion. I actually think that Dillian is a threat, and it's not like the same. It's not. We haven't seen that fight.
When you say that, very quick, I just want to understand what you're saying. When you say I think Dillian White's a threat, are you implying that Ortiz isn't a threat, or just
no? Ortiz is a threat. Ortiz is a threat too.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, we've seen what he's been able to do against Wilder, right? So he is a threat. Technically, yes, he is the better boxer. He's the one that comes with the better pedigree. If you put him side by side with Dillian, but he has that something. Dillian has that something that is like that hunger and that youth on his side, right? And I mean, you can just spin it however you want it, but it's a big factor when it comes down to like that showdown with AJ. Like, who wants it? Who's hungry to do it? Like one of the reasons why Joseph Parker didn't do as well as he could have done against AJ, he was contented. Like, he was in there. And although he's a young fighter, he was not hungry and trying to just go in there and win. He was just thinking, wow, I'm in there with AJ. I'm making that money. Let me save. Let me not get knocked out. Dylan don't give a fuck about getting knocked out. He's been knocked out by AJ before. He will go in there and he'll press the action from round one until he finishes, whether he finishes the fight or whether AJ finishes the fight, because it's not going to outrun that fight. But I think it's the bigger risk and the bigger danger, because that's what I think. The hunger will be there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else, Mitty?
No, that's pretty much it, man.
Thank you. We're going to go to another caller.
Happy New Year to you guys.
Happy New Year to you, Mitty, of course, man. I know it's going to hit New Year, 2 hours, right? A little bit under 2 hours?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. You guys have some champagne for me? It's going to be a few more hours for me.
Champagne?
What do you drink on New Year's? Like, is there, like...
Tea.
I don't drink alcohol.
Not you specifically. I mean, like, like...
Champagne.
Is it champagne? Like, champagne is like the stereotypical drink, right? Like, I'm talking about stereotypical drinks.
Champagne.
Thank you.
Depends on your
Okay. Go fuck yourself. Okay, Rob.
You can get cheap champagne from
Yeah, fucking champagne.
Okay, I'm muting Mitty. Okay, fuck you, Rob. We're going to another caller.
No, I just want to say quickly. I'll always hate that when Mitty says he agrees with Robbie 100%. I'm good. It's been a great show. I'm happy.
But I feel like he then went on to like say everything that you did not say. Like, he went on to make better points and counterpoints, and so he really didn't agree with you 100%. I'm just.
Mitty's always makes better. Most people make better points than me, but I'm the fucking idiot sat here.
And I will say this. Mitty did sound better being sick than he did not being sick.
Yeah, Mitty, don't get well soon.
Yeah,
you sound great, but
yeah, you sound much better. Much better podcast sound. But anyways. Going to Gary in Dallas. Gary, how you doing?
All right, there it is. Yeah, I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing good, Gary.
You sound sick, mate. Are you okay? You sound sick.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Cool.
So I'm watching this Nietes and Ioka fight right now. And that's right. This thing is almost impossible to score. I've gotten through 9 rounds of it. I have it 5-4. But I think any scorecard, I had a 5-4 Nietes after 9. But I think any scorecard you hand in is reasonable, because every single round, like in the old days, like in the 20s, it would be 9 rounds even and no rounds for anyone. It's that kind of fight. How did you have it through the first, say, 8 rounds?
I think I had Ioka up at that point. So I think I gave Ioka, I want to say, like the first 3 rounds, maybe the first 4 rounds or so. Nietes like the next two, so to speak. I don't have my scorecard in front of me. But Ioka was up heading into the later rounds, and then I thought Nietes pulled it up towards the end, won the championship rounds, and that's probably what it was able to, bag him that victory.
This is like, were the scorecards wide all over the place? Were they vastly different, or were they pretty consistent?
I don't know the individual scorecards and in terms of what rounds they scored, but the scorecards that we saw, no one even had it 7-5. 2 scorecards of 8-4, and then one of 10-2.
I like to see those judges because did they have veteran judges? Because if you just look at it casually, it looks like Nietes has more moments. But if you actually go in and score and keep track, okay, he landed a shot here. If Nietes was rallying late in rounds, where it kind of looked like he won the rounds, but if you scored it carefully, these rounds are really, really tough to score. Really tough to score.
Yeah.
So if they had experienced judges or if they were more novice. Experienced judge, well, we talked about it last time. Sometimes experienced judges aren't any better, but
sometimes that's actually the worst thing to have is a quote unquote experienced judge, because think about it, we see the same names all the time judging the highest level fights, and they mess up all the time.
They do. So yeah, I guess.
But then again, you said, Gary, this fight was extremely hard to score, and we talked about this before. If you are a person that you like one style, you like one aspect of boxing a lot, maybe it's inside work, maybe it's the forward aggressive fighter, maybe it's the guy that's darting in and out being the boxer, whatever it is, and we have a fight that is hard to score, but it's clearly you have one guy of one style, one guy of another, there is maybe a logical argument where you can get a 8-4 scorecard by chance for Nietes, because you like all the inside work that he was doing. You liked his combinations to the body. But other than that, the 10-2 is pretty wide. But again, I'm not too upset about scorecards for this fight. It was hard to judge. It was hard to score round by round because each round was highly competitive and highly close.
Yeah, 10-2 seems ridiculous. It seems like you have to want to make a case for someone to give him 10-2.
Mm-hmm.
But all the rounds are pretty close. I could sit here, I've watched 9 rounds so far, and okay, you could make a case for either fighter winning pretty much every round. So if you wanted to get the 10-2, you have to want to get there. That has to be your goal. I'm going to score this fight for the air test. But you could make a case for him in most of those rounds. So it's I felt that way in the AJ and Parker fight too, when the judges had 11-1. It's okay, you could make a case for AJ in almost every round, but you're looking for reasons to give him rounds now. I thought that the Parker fight was an 8-4 kind of fight. They all had 11-1. I think two of the judges had 11-1. It's you're trying to give him the fight. And now that we're on heavyweight, I wanted to correct you real quick. I didn't say that there was the top 3 heavyweights and then the rest of them were trash. I said Luis Ortiz was the second tier, and then the rest of them were trash.
But I still highly disagree at that point, and I think it does a disservice to the division.
See, if you said, is Dillian White worthy of a title shot? Yes. Is he a top 5 heavyweight? Yes. Is he good? See, that's a different question, right?
He is good.
After the top 4 heavyweights.
Wait. Is your argument that Dillian White's a bad fighter? Is that really your argument? Please tell me that's your argument.
He's big.
I didn't talk about size. I said bad. I said, is your argument that he's a bad fighter?
Do I think he's a particularly skilled fighter? No, I don't.
That's like. You said the rest of the division's trash. Those are the exact words. Is trash. You're basically calling them a bum. You don't realize how that talking point, that narrative, does a disservice to the division. Do you understand how that's not really reflective of reality? Because Dillian White is a good fighter. He is clearly a top 5 heavyweight. He's clearly an elite level heavyweight.
Top 5 heavyweight.
I understand that, but you are sort of barely giving him that. You're like, oh yeah, he's top 5, but he still is trash. Like that would be like saying Danny Garcia's trash. That'd be like saying Daniel Jacobs is trash. That'd be like saying you go down the line of that number 5 ranked guy in the division and saying they're trash. You're calling a lot of elite guys trash. Like the logic doesn't really
not
make.
Not every division has the same amount of depth, right? Like I don't think Danny Garcia is a top 5 welterweight, but he's not trash. He's really good because the welterweight division is deeper than the heavyweight division. Like once you get past the top couple of heavyweights, it gets thin real quick.
But if AJ, wait, you put AJ in that top class, right? You don't realize that Dylan White gave AJ probably his toughest fight?
I realize that. I haven't seen the fight. I have not seen that fight. But that's what I hear.
Wait, you've never seen the fight? How many fights have you seen of Dylan White? How many fights have you seen of Dylan White? Name them.
I've seen his last 3 fights for sure.
Okay, so you've seen the Chisora fight, the Lucas Brown fight, and the Joseph Parker fight.
Yeah, those were all his fights this year, right? White, he fought Brown early in the year, and then he fought Parker.
Yes. Okay. And you saw those 3 fights, and you said, "Yep, this guy is bad. This guy is not a good fighter."
Right.
This call is trash.
That is exactly.
Okay, Gary. Okay. I mean, I think you just have no factual basis to back that other than your own opinion, which is in my opinion, in my own opinion, a trash opinion. Like that, the guy has beaten everyone outside the division, beaten former champions, beaten perennial top 15 guys, beaten veterans, has improved time and time again, is a top 5 guy in the division, and you say he's trash. Like, I just don't understand the logic behind that.
That was the Polish guy or whatever he fought late last year. Helenius?
Yeah, what about him?
So I've seen his last 4 fights up the top. Okay. Yeah, he didn't knock Helenius out. That fight went the distance, right?
Sure.
And Parker went the distance, right? And then the other 2 were knockouts.
Yeah, and Leonard.
I don't know.
Leonard Bundu went the distance with Thurman. Like, we can point out elite fighters having bad nights.
No, I'm not saying. No, you didn't know. I'm just trying to think of. I'm just running the fights. These last couple of fights that I can think of off the top of my head. Look, whenever you say someone is trash or that guy is great, that's kind of your opinion on the guy, right?
Yes, and then I can say that opinion's trash.
LeBron James is a great basketball player. I mean, that's just my opinion.
Yes, but Gary, you do realize that just falling back, well, hey, it's my opinion, is a really trash argument, right? To use your word.
I don't think anyone outside of the top 4 heavyweights are particularly skilled. And I don't think that Jermell Miller is particularly skilled. I just think that he's 315 pounds and has a high work rate, and that's going to be a problem. I don't think any of them. I think Usyk goes in, and with the exception of maybe Fury, school's old. I just don't think they're that good. Like, I think the top 3 heavyweights are good. I don't know that they would be heavyweights in other eras, but I think they're good fighters.
But those top 3 fighters have struggled with guys we're talking about.
Well, they've only fought one of them, right? He's only fought. White's only fought.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, Gary. I know you have like the Luis Ortiz tier, but you're basically calling him mediocre. Like, I hope you know this. Like, the way your argument's being portrayed, Gary, is that we have 3 good heavyweights. Luis Ortiz is all right.
4.
And let me finish, because you said Luis Ortiz is in his own tier. So are you now grouping him with Fury, AJ, and Wilder? Is it now 2 tiers and Ortiz is now included?
No,
I need to understand the argument here, Gary.
I don't think he can beat any of those guys ahead of him, right? Like, look, he did great against Wilder, but that's as good as he can do. He fought the fight that he was supposed to fight. He can't get on the inside of Wilder, so he got knocked out. And I kind of knew that was going to be what happened. If he can't get on the inside, he can't box him on the inside, eventually he's going to get knocked out, and that's what happened. So I don't think he can beat Wilder. I don't think he can outbox Fury. AJ is the interesting one. Oh, and that's why that fight's not going to happen, because Ortiz, I probably pick AJ because he's younger, but that could be a real bad fight for AJ. If it got into a pure boxing match, Ortiz could win that fight, and that's why that's not going to happen. So I think Ortiz is good. I defended Ortiz. You guys were on the other side. Everyone was bashing me. I think Ortiz is really good. So no, I think it's 4 good heavyweights.
Okay, so now we have two. Okay, wait. Just so I understand. All right. We have 2 tiers. We have the top 4,
yeah,
and then everyone else is trash, right?
That's basically my position.
Okay. Again,
is the top tier like elite, super great, or is it it's all right?
They're good fighters. They're good.
Like how far is the gap? How much of a gap is there in that top 4 to the rest?
Between 4 and 5.
Yeah, how big is that gap?
There's a pretty big gap. There's a big gap. Like that's a big gap. Like if you just rating him on a 1 to 10, if you said rate Luis Ortiz on 1 to 10, how good do you think he is? I'd say he's a 7, 7.5, right? And the other guys are 8. I would say Dillian White's a 4.5.
That's crazy. So a 4.5 gave AJ his toughest fight.
He didn't say
a 4.5 beat Joseph Parker. A 4.5 beat Derek Chisora.
I don't think Parker did anything either. I thought Parker got outboxed by YouTube. I thought Parker got outboxed by. What's the big Mexican?
Okay, but then let's use Chisora as the barometer. Let's use Chisora as the barometer there, Gary. Did Fury beat Chisora as well as Dillian White in the rematch? I would say no.
Does Huey Fury?
No, Tyson Fury, because Tyson Fury fought Chisora.
Oh, does Tyson Fury beat Chisora? Yeah.
No.
Of course he does. You don't think?
No, you don't understand my argument, Gary, because Tyson Fury actually fought Chisora, I think twice. And obviously, Dillian White has fought Chisora twice. One guy looked better doing it.
Right.
One guy looked better doing it. And guess what? It ain't that top 4 elite heavyweight you're talking about. It's not the number 8, the rated 8 guy compared to the number 4 guy. The number 4 guy did better than the number 8 guy.
Okay, and again, you're right. White got the knockout. Looked great. Getting the knockout. Knockout of the year type of knockout, right?
But what number is Chisora?
Oh, good question. Hold on, good question there, Rob. Hold on. I want to hear that. What number is Chisora if Dillian White's a 4.5?
3? He's not good. He's just big. He's not good. Yeah, I mean, look, he's good for a heavyweight.
A top. You just called a top 15 heavyweight, a perennial guy. A guy's been in the top 15 for near a decade. A 3 out of 10. Imagine on the next EA. Imagine on the next EA fight night, they put out Chisora and he's rated 30 out of 100. That would be fucking ludicrous.
I wouldn't use it. Only because you're only comparing him to other heavyweights.
To the division. That's what you do. You compare it to the fucking division.
And that division is weak. Right? So would you say like the top guys at 168? They're pretty good, right? Alvarez, Caleb Smith, those guys are good, right?
Yes.
Are they as good as the guys at 47 and 60? No. They're not. So, I mean, not every division is equally as stacked. Like that, there's not each division.
But Gary, you know you're talking about like the minutia and the margins of difference in levels, right? Like a Canelo versus an Earl Spence or Terrence Crawford. You're talking about like very small numbers of difference here. We're talking about like a 99 compared to like a 98 or a 98.5. Like that's the differences we're talking about here. Okay? Not a 70% difference in the levels of skill. Like that's ridiculous.
My head hurts.
Like you don't think heavyweight is at this point is probably what the 3rd or 4th best era of the heavyweight division's history? Honestly?
I mean, it's hard. I don't know. Like, I can only go back as far as the 90s. Like, how deep were the heavyweight divisions back in the 70s? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, obviously you have the Ali golden era, and obviously you have the 90s, which was the renaissance of the golden era, and then you have this era. Maybe you go back in the Jack Dempseys, the Gene Turneys of the world in the 20s and 30s, maybe. But this is the 3rd best era of heavyweight history, arguably, and you're saying, nah, it's trash. There's 4 guys that are good, and they're only kind of good. If you compare to the rest of boxing world, they're trash too, and the division's just trash. Like that's what I'm getting.
And the 9.5 Joshua could have a competitive fight with a 9.5 Errol Spence. I'm confused. I don't even know what's happening anymore. it's
my head hurts.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I get you, Gary. Look,
I definitely understand. I definitely understand Gary's argument. I just think it's a trash argument.
Yeah, there's arguments and then there's trash arguments.
There's opinions and then there's trash opinions.
This is like a 4.5 opinion.
No. Gary, we love you. We love you.
I always like Gary's calls.
It
causes this.
Yeah, Gary always comes with the smoke.
I want smoke.
So I appreciate it.
I'm just not a fan of heavyweight boxing in general.
That's fine.
Like, and I don't know. These, like when heavyweights were 210 pounds, 220 pounds, I feel like they were still really good athletes and they had really good skills. I feel like guys like Big Baby Miller and Chisora and Dillian White are just big. Like, that's it. They're just big. I mean, they're athletic and stuff, but they're big. It's like their skills haven't been finely tuned. It's like, okay, you can beat someone up in a bar, put some gloves on, jump in a ring, I'll teach you a few things, you're ready to go. I don't think they're comparable. Their skill set is comparable to guys in other weight classes.
Okay. Gary, I'll be honest. I'm not going to argue it more, mainly because it is your opinion, like you have said, and I heavily disagree with it. And I think it, again, if you had people like me, and quickly, sorry, Gary, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Matt.
Thank you.
Yeah, so, make a New Year's resolution, Gary. I don't know.
Yes, and thank you for the call, Gary. But again, if people like me and Rob and a lot of us in this sort of space were coming out here on YouTube and outlets and saying, yeah, heavyweight division's trash, and we were like perpetuating that talking point, again, that does a disservice to the sport, and it's not based in any sort of reality. There's a reason, like Rob said earlier, which was a great point. The division's heating up right now. Why is it heating up? Oh, everyone's trash? No, because the division's finally good again. There's some depth to the division finally. We have a slew of contenders for the main, champions. Like, the division's hot for a reason. Why? Because the division's good. And to discredit it in any way, similar to trying to take down Luis Ortiz individually with the 50 years old, the blood pressure meds, PED scandal, trying to take down Dylan White, unskilled, which is just a weird talking point that is not based in reality. Look at his fucking jab, for example, and say that's not skilled boxing. The way he controls distance nowadays, it's far better. Again, none of this stuff is based in reality and does disservice to the fighters, does disservice to the sport, and like you guys can do better. Gary, you can do better than that. I know heavyweight can be boring sometimes. Don't get me wrong. Like Gary's right about that. Like heavyweight is not my cup of tea. But I can objectively say the heavyweight division is stacked right now, more so than it's been since the 90s. I also, to add to it, I know Gary came up in that time when it was the Mike Tyson era. You had Riddick Bowe, Razor Ruddock, you had Lennox Lewis. Like, you go down the line, Andrew Galata. That was a deep time for the heavyweight division as well. And I would probably not argue this era is better than that one. But it's definitely comparable now, more so than it has been in the last 20 years. That's just factual. Rob, we have one last caller. Any points about Gary's call you want to say? Or
I think maybe we could edit it out, or
no, we can't.
No, I'm joking. No,
we are live.
No, I know. I sort of get what he means. If you go further down, does a Kaunaki trouble some of these guys? I don't know.
Wanaki is rated like number 1, man. Come on. Like, he's not even a 3. He's not a 2. He's like maybe a 1, maybe negative.
Yeah. But yeah, to go down this route, if you got he's all right, the rest are just trash. I don't know. I think as we know, Wilder could land a punch on Joshua and it could all be over, or Joshua could get up and do the same back. A Dillian White could land one on Wilder and he could be on, spaghetti legs and it could be all over. Derek Chisora could do that overhand right he landed on Takam and clean up Tyson Fury. It's heavyweight boxing and these guys are all within a chance. Yes, there is, I guess, a skill set and some have got better ones than others, but these are big guys that, I don't know, just to separate them by, he's a 7 and he's a 4.5 and he just beat a 3. I don't know. It's like heavyweight top trumps and
I don't know. And on top of that, like it again, I actually forgot my point. Rob.
Don't worry about it.
That last line you said was kind of funny, and
yeah, no, good call, Gary. I mean, like
great call, Gary. You love it.
And there was no mention of Keith Thurman, which is always, obviously,
I actually brought
rehab.
I brought up Thurman. I was hoping that would send him down another rabbit hole.
Yeah, yeah. No, obviously rehab is working. Shout out Gary.
Hey, hold on. We've had 2 very bad heavyweight takes recently for callers. One was from Jose, when he said Luis Ortiz was the best heavyweight on the planet, better than Wilder, AJ, and Fury, right? And obviously now Gary's saying that everyone at heavyweight's trash. Which opinion's actually the most trash opinion? Or just say that for the listeners, think in your mind.
Leave it in the comments.
Yeah, definitely leave that in the comments. Definitely, please do.
Which is the trashiest comment? All heavyweights are trash, or
Luis Ortiz
the best of the lot?
Oh God, bless Jose and Gary and all of our callers. And the last caller of the day, Santiago out in L.A. Santi, who hasn't called in a while. I feel like. Hope all is well with Santi, and occasional contributor to the show. Santiago, how are you?
I'm doing good. Happy belated Christmas to everyone there, and a happy New Year's Eve and a New Year's to Rob. Yeah, things haven't been the best, and I haven't really had the chance to call in, but today was just one of those days where I decided I'm going to listen in, and it just became something I decided to call in about, and I don't know if I should go down the rabbit hole of the heavyweight division, because unlike a lot of you on there, I can go back as far as 1899, so I think I'll leave that as something for maybe a different time.
No. Let's go down the rabbit hole. Fuck it.
Yeah, it's nearly New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Let's see. We could be here till next New Year's Eve.
I assume you're talking about when I mentioned that this era is arguably the 3rd best era of the heavyweight division. I feel like that might have triggered you, Santiago, so please.
The modern era.
Please go into your argument. I cannot wait.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you, Matt, that this is probably the 3rd or 4th best era that we've had in a while, because because the consensus thought has been, since the Klitschko brothers retired, the era has had a bit of a heartbeat since then, because when they were reigning as champions, the consensus thought then was they were so either safety conscious or so good compared to everybody else that there was no way that they could lose. By the time that Vladimir got with Emmanuel Stewart and got over that very rough first fight with him where he got knocked out, it was for him at least a reign of dominance. Unifying 3 of the 4 major titles. His brother had the other one, the WBC. When he retired, we had Wilder, put a bit of a pulse in the division. And then when Fury beat Vladimir and then vacated, and then we had Joshua unifying the titles, we had a heartbeat, And to be honest, like I said, I can go back as far as 1899 to like a variety of eras where people were considered trash. Just look at the reign of Joe Louis. What was his reign called? The Bum of the Month Club. When you look at the reign since James Tunney retired, it was a slew of one defense or no defense champions, from Primo Carnera, Jack Sharkey, Max Schmeling, until we had Joe Louis. And then from there, we've got older fighters like guys like Jack Johnson, who was the reigning heavyweight champion, the first black champion in an era where the Jim Crow law still existed, and everyone that was trying to fight him was dubbed the White Hope, even though they were all trash. They even brought up a middleweight to try and beat the heavyweight champion.
Santiago, I feel like you, like I had a 10-8 round against Gary. Like you just Tenshin Nasukawa him. Like you literally bullied Gary around with that call and rebuttal.
I'm waving it off.
Yeah. Corners come in. Towel's been waved in. Great points, Santiago.
For sure.
And that's just scratching at the surface too. At that point too, but you know
kick
the
him.
other thing
Kick
too
him.
Is that I'm
Go
happy
on,
to
kick
see
him.
That
Drop the
I'm very
elbow.
happy to see that the New Year's Eve card got to be shown a little bit on ESPN Plus. That was a very nice surprise to see when I was looking through the ESPN app. It's been a topic that Matt has talked about a lot of time about the Japanese culture, and the Japanese boxing culture has always been one I've been fond of. It's what got me into boxing to begin with, so it's nice to see them get a little bit of shine, even though we didn't get to see a lot of the fighters that were fighting on that card. So salute to them putting a little shine on them, considering.
Thank you.
And, there's not much to say about the Mayweather fight. It was an exhibition. It was what it was. It was what we expected it to be, and there's nothing much more that needs to be added on to that.
One thing needs to be added on. Regardless of the fight, or air quote fight, with Nasukawa, are you interested in a Manny Pacquiao rematch?
I haven't been interested in a Manny Pacquiao rematch since before he retired against Berto. This doesn't change my opinion about how I think that fight's going to go.
Okay.
Yep, and the only thing I do have to say though is that the one good thing I will take out of this is the fact that because I guess it was Mayweather, a guy like Nasukawa got some real nice shine. Guys that even Ness was talking about at one point. I think a couple people I know that normally don't pay attention to the Japanese fighters, they're talking about like, oh hey, did you see this Japanese card that was going on? So it was kind of like it was really nice to see that effect translate for them at least, because for probably the longest for both you and me, dude, these guys were more of the hardcore thing. So it was nice to hear people actually talk about this card and this fight for what it was worth.
I agree. I had fun. If like I know Rob really had no idea what he was getting into by watching this card.
No.
If you know you're in for something that's going to be comical, like it's something that you're just going to laugh at more so than anything, you can get a lot of enjoyment from Japanese New Year's Eve.
Yeah, like if you see a film and it's got Will Ferrell in it, you know what you're going to expect.
Yes.
I just didn't know that this card had Will Ferrell in it.
That is a great analogy. Yes.
Thank you.
Santiago?
Yeah, man.
That was Step Brother.
It was a good weekend. It was a good fight. It was a nice little argument to hear you and Gary and I guess Jose also have regarding the state of the heavyweight division today. And all I gotta say is everybody that's listening to the show, hit the like button, share the show, subscribe. Don't forget to join their Patreon to get hours and hours of content and footage. Support the show because this is their livelihood. And as Matt has stated before, I do every now and then try to contribute in the show where I can, be it live fight chats, which I haven't been a part of lately, or just giving people a bit of a history lesson.
Oh yeah, like that.
I like that, Santiago. Well, thank you for calling again. Happy New Year's, brother. Merry Christmas. And God, I love the subtle pettiness of Santiago. Is perfect.
That was cold. That little bit, or just swinging by, dropping knowledge.
Yeah, just dropping fucking elbows and power bombs on fucking people, man. God damn. Gary's on life support somewhere, Santiago. God damn. Anyways, last topic of the day, which I totally forgot about.
Shit.
Yeah, we kind of, I guess, got to talk about this in a way. Gervonta Davis and Terrence Crawford had a little tiff on Twitter. I'll be honest, I was thinking about doing like a dramatic reading and trying to read all this.
No, I don't.
And then I started reading it again. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. Hell no. I'm not that stupid. But God, what's even the point of this? Like,
I was a little lost. I just caught it like halfway through, and I thought, what even started this? Didn't recently Gervonta say?
It has to be about Spence beating him. It has to be about Spence.
Yeah. I think so, but
because Gervonta and Spence are friends. They go out clubbing all the time. Not all the time, but they go out clubbing. Like they go have fun together. Like they are friends. Like they are friendly with each other, right? Pause. But it's Terrence Crawford. Like why are you getting sucked into these arguments? Like I'll be honest. I'm a Terrence Crawford fan. I've admitted that from day one. From before I even started being in media, I've always been a Terrence Crawford fan. And I've always liked him on Twitter in a way. I like him being a little bit more outgoing in a sense on social media because he's not outgoing anywhere else, it seems. And then, we've seen times where he's, run up on Spence, behind the scenes. And that was interesting, right? We got to see a little bit more of Crawford.
I like that bud.
Don't get me wrong. I like this bud. I don't like it at Gervonta Davis. Why? Because it doesn't matter. Like it really has no bearing on any fights that are going to get made. Like they are separated by 3 weight classes. Like Gervonta Davis hasn't fought a relevant 130-pounder in how long? I don't care about this. And with Gervonta Davis, I am much more of I really don't care about this, Gervonta. Like, please get off social media. And for Terrence Crawford, I'm more like, hey, at Spence, go at Sean, go at Keith Thurman a little bit more. Like, why are you talking to Gervonta Davis? Like, he should not even be on your radar, in a sense. But he is, in a way. This is what happens when the biggest fight for Crawford in the next 12 months is going to be Amir fucking Khan. God damn it. So, it is what it is. Rob, your thoughts on the low tiff between Tank Davis and Terrence Crawford?
Yeah, it's a little bit of entertainment when there was little to no boxing news going on, and suddenly, oh, hello, what's going on? And yeah, like you say, it's all connection. I'm pretty sure it was a couple of months back that Gervonta done an interview or something saying Spence would knock out Crawford or something like that. So it all roots back to Spence Crawford. That seems to be the big, I don't know, down the line, are we going to see it? Who knows? But there seems to be a lot of drama, and slowly, is it Bob Arum's, what do we want to call it? Marination, but yeah, I kind of like you say, Bud running up on Spence, and then, he said, I called you, and he said, I ain't got your phone number. He's like, save it. It's a good, it was good banter between them. Although I guess, deep down, and I'm going to kick your ass. I'm going to kick your ass. But
that was the good thing about that. Mutual... it was friendly banter, but they were still talking a lot of shit.
And they were trying to be the guy that come off better in that shit talk,
not better, cooler. Spencer is definitely trying to play oh, I don't need you, man. It's fine. But that's because Spencer's ducking. It's all right.
Oh, but obviously back to Khan. Midi or you guys discussed Amir Khan now versus a 41-year-old Floyd. Well, what about a coming to the end Khan versus a close to his prime Bud Crawford?
If Crawford wanted to treat Amir Khan like Tenshin Nasukawa, he could. Let's be honest. Sorry, Midi. Midi's muted. He can't come on even if he wanted to. His volume's turned down. I apologize, Midi. I'll turn your volume up in case you do want to jump on. Because I know I mentioned your man and that triggers you. It's okay. It happens. But yeah, Amir Khan gets whooped. He gets treated like the little kid on the playground, and he gets his underwear stuffed over his head. Guaranteed.
I don't know if that's
he's the
illegal.
nerdy kid that's gonna get his head stuffed in a toilet when he fights Crawford.
I don't know how easy it is to pull someone's underwear up with gloves on, but
Oh, Crawford's going to make it happen. Don't worry.
All right. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mitty's biting his tongue. Salute to Mitty.
Yeah.
You know why? Because he knows the truth.
Yeah.
You know
this works.
Why does he have a rebuttal? Like you can't have one. You don't have sound bites, Rob. Like you keep trying to play sound bites and you don't.
I don't know why it's not. I quit it and come back, but never mind. Whatever. I did that. You can't handle the truth, but it's all good.
I have that somewhere.
Yeah, I got nothing more to say about Tank Davis. You know, just go out, make weight, see you against Mahrez, Crawford. I don't know. Get that resume a little bit more solid, and it's just a shit ton of bad luck that you're on the top ranked stable because there ain't no one there to fight really.
You can't handle the truth.
Yeah, that one.
Yep.
Yeah, like what he said. But yeah, nothing more to say about that one really.
It is what it is.
It's more drama without much substance.
Definitely a lot of drama without substance. This whole day has sort of been lacking substance in a way with Mayweather, Nasukawa. Even though the boxing fights were good, like it was all right. Like I've seen better New Year's Eve shows. It is what it is. But anyways, digressing. I am Matt, the hipster hunter. What, Rob?
No, Midi in our group.
I
chat
saw
just
that.
wrote,
I
it's
saw
not
that.
even worth a reaction.
Again, that's because he knows he doesn't have a reaction because it's true. Khan gets fucking punked. Like it's gonna be Ashton Kutcher with the camera out, and he's gonna get punked, guaranteed. But anyways, digressing. Matt, the hipster hunter. Find me at Matt Hunter MCR all platforms. Smash the like button, share the show, subscribe. Patreon.com/Mixed Combat Radio. Rob, we need to do a Patreon show tomorrow, day after. Text me after the show. We need to pencil that in. And I will be posting a interview from UFC 232. But don't worry, it's not about it's not about MMA. What could it be? Roy Jones Jr. talking about his new streaming deal and why it's not on DAZN. Gonna have like 30-something events next year. It's gonna be a lot of stuff for Roy Jones Promotions. But anyway, it's digressing. Check out Patreon in the next few hours for that one. Have a great day, Rob.
Yeah, we will have to start getting Patreon just so Santiago's plug isn't just false information. He said hours and hours of content. So we're
technically speaking, there is probably hours and hours of content.
Yeah, but nothing good. I'm not on any of it yet. You know it is. But we going into next year, 2019. Hopefully, we can get the name back to Mixed Combat Radio. Just a little technical glitch on.
Yo, shout out to Google, man. And the fact that you can't, if you change your name too many times, it says, nah, you can't change your name for 3 months. What?
Or something, technology. Bummer. But,
yeah.
Whatever, we'll live with it. MCR Net, maybe there's a catchy slogan out there. Maybe leave a catchy slogan in the comments, But, quick shout out. We've got sporting icons, the great Deontay Wilder Slayer in the chat right now. Maybe going to look at something. We could do something with sporting icons in the new year. We'll hook something up. But obviously, Fugati with his wrench, keeping the entertainment going. Jump Tube, Nut, BK, The Warrior, just everyone. Vicky, shout out
First
to
lady,
Vicky.
First lady of MCR.
Fat Apples. What else we got? There's just BK.
We have a lot of people.
And Slap Nuts. Shout out to Slap Nuts. That's just the greatest name in the chat.
And quickly, I've seen some newer names in the chat that have been on a lot of shows lately, and I like that. Like BK is a newer guy. I've seen a lot. The Warrior, I've seen a lot more. Stick around, hit that subscribe button, share the show. Tell a friend and tell a friend. Definitely head to patreon.com/Mixed Combat Radio. $1 a month gets you extra shows a week. Going to be putting up a lot more interviews up to Patreon. All interviews for MCR going into the new year will be posted on Patreon first. So if you want that first 3-day access to the interview, got to be on Patreon. And also, a new show is coming out for Patreon. That's going to be a female-centric show, monthly. I've been pushing for Rob to be executive producer of his own show. UK Hour might come back. A lot of things in the work. Go to Patreon. Help support the movement.
I don't think Mike Coppinger's going to be on that female boxing show, but maybe we could twist his arm, come and defend himself.
Hey, it's not his fault that Amanda Nunes versus Chris Cyborg was the best boxing fight of the weekend.
I don't know what it was, but it was a boxing.
That is
hateful.
And
he said it was pure boxing, nothing but boxing, apart from the massive kick to her leg that she nearly fell over. I saw that. That's what.
You haven't seen that in boxing?
That's what Tenshin should have been doing today. Take Floyd down, drop the elbow, and then, who was it? Aoki or whatever his name was, rip his arm off and give him the fucking bird. So, but yeah, follow me at UK Rob MCR, Instagram and Twitter. I'm also trying to get the MCR pod. What's the Twitter handle? Podcast?
No, the Twitter one. We're trying to change that. I'm still trying to contact the actual person that has MCR Podcast. That Twitter handle, because it's like a Boston show about some local team that was around in 2013. Anyways, bullshit. MCR Radio Show on Twitter, MCR Podcast on IG, and Mixed Combat Radio on Facebook. But obviously, follow me and Rob. It's the easiest way to stay up to date on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we are going to try and get everything all in one place.
With one name, eventually.
No, well, this is dangerously sounding like Deontay Wilder. One face, one name, one podcast, but not actually getting shit together or unifying things.
Eventually,
shout out to Sporting Icons. I know he'll like that one.
Eventually, we will have synergy with the company. Eventually. But anyways. Yeah. And also, website is in pre-production right now. Shout out to Fugati, who's like our head director of the website, trying to get that done. But anyways, that should happen soon. And so articles, we will be posting articles soon as well once the website gets up. Because I miss writing. That's how I started in media, was being a writer. This podcasting thing and YouTube thing happened much later. Like 6 months.
Hence, just, what is it, there's 747 subs, so...
Yes. Go to 1,000. Hit that subscribe.
Yeah. Get us monetized, people. Get us over 1,000.
Yeah, we want to get Rob over to, like, Anthony Fowler's gym. We want to get him over to Ireland with Carl Frampton in Belfast. We want him to go all over the place in the UK to get interviews and stuff like that. And Patreon.com, monetization, all that stuff. It has to happen, unfortunately. But subscribe to the show, all that fun shit. Rob, did you even give out your like social media stuff, or did I cut you off?
UK Rob. Whoa.
UK Rob. Whoa. Oh, a soundbite. Damn it. Where's one? Where's a good one?
It's bullshit.
That's not really a great one, fam. It's all right.
UK Rob MCR. Sorry.
I got a better soundbite, but I need to like turn down the music for a second to play it. UK Rob T.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Yeah, who the fuck is that guy? Yeah. But anyways, have a great day.
And shout out, my girls just texted me, said, I think Liam's fucked your soundboard, my soundbite. So I'm going to have to go through all that and check why I couldn't hit my hilarious soundbites.
Yeah, have a good one. And everyone have a safe New Year's Eve. Don't drink and drive. Get an Uber, get a Lyft, whatever it may be. And have a great night. Peace.
Yes, hour and 5 minutes in the UK. Have a good one. Happy New Year.